Hello dear students, this is Dr. Adwet and welcome to lecture number 3 of Cell, the Unit of Life. Before we begin today's lecture, let's have a quick recap of what we've done in the previous 2 lectures. Lecture number 1 began with us discussing why are there so many Latin words in biology. In fact, we went through a list of Latin words which are commonly used in biology, like bios, which means life, logos, which means study of. We have auto, which means self, hetero, which means different, trophos, which means to eat, botan, which means plant, and zoon, which means animals. Then we saw that biology, the science that we are trying to study, in fact, it is derived from 2 Latin words, which are bios and logos. So biology itself means study of life. Then we saw what is botany, which is the study of plants. We saw what is zoology, which is going to be the study of animals. And we finally saw what is cell. So I explained to you that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. I explained to you in detail what is the meaning of the word unit and how the word unit has 3 meanings, out of which the third one was relevant to our definition of cell. After this, we moved on to the second lecture, where we continued with more Latin words like micro, which means very small, macro, which means small, mega, which means big, and magnum, which means very big. Scopion means to see, and you have cyton, which means cell. So from this, we were able to understand that microscope is an instrument which is used to see very small objects. Cytology is going to be the microscopic study of cells. We discussed what is going to be the history of microscopy, and we went through how glass was discovered, how microscope was discovered, how Robert Hooke was the first one to see the cell, how he coined the term cell, how he wrote or how he produced a beautiful book in 1665 called Micrographia. And then we saw how Anton von Leeuwenhoek, with his curiosity, was able to see living cells for the first time. And we saw how was his microscope, what is the principle behind the microscope. So all of this we discussed when we were talking about the history of microscopy. After that, we saw again that cytology is the microscopic study of cell. And we then went on to discuss what is the cell theory. So Schleiden and Schwann, along with Virchow, came up with the cell theory, which states that all living things are made up of cells or their components. And we also discussed that new cells come from pre-existing cells. So that was the cell theory, and this is where we ended lecture number 2. So dear students, today's lecture starts now. So now we are starting off with lecture number 3. So lecture number 3 begins with the first thing which you have done in the first lecture itself, which is these 2 reactions which you can see above me on the screen. The upper one is called respiration and the lower one is called photosynthesis. I have told this to you before that most of the organisms are going to do respiration because they need ATP for survival, that is the chemical form of energy that most living organisms use. And to make ATP, you first require glucose. So glucose is produced by a process called photosynthesis. So these are the 2 reactions which you can see up here. Now, why am I discussing these reactions again? Because all living organisms, to survive, are going to do chemical reactions within themselves or within the cells. Now these chemical reactions can broadly be classified only into 2 types. Either you take small little chemicals, join them together and make something big, or you take something big and you break it down and you make something small. So technically these are the only 2 types of reactions that can happen inside a living organisms. You either take little chemicals, join them together, form something big, or you take a big chemical, break it down and make some smaller chemicals. So the first type of reaction where you take something small and make something big is called anabolism. As you can see in photosynthesis, You are taking these two small molecules, carbon dioxide and water, and making something big, which is glucose. Hence, photosynthesis can be called as a anabolic reaction, a reaction in which you are taking smaller things and you are making something bigger. At the same time, if you look at respiration, you take a big molecule and you break this big molecule into carbon dioxide and water. So this is the reaction where something big has been broken down into something smaller. This is called catabolism. So only these two types of reactions are possible inside a living organism. छोटा छोटा जोड़ के कुछ तो बड़ा बनाओ, which will be called anabolism, या बड़ा कुछ लो और उसको तोड़ो और कुछ छोटा बनाओ, which will be called as catabolism. Both these reactions, anabolism and catabolism, जोड़ना और तोड़ना, both of them together can be called as metabolism. So you must have heard this word being thrown around a lot before, even at school level, metabolism, metabolic activity. So what metabolism basically means is chemical reactions taking place inside a cell. These chemical reactions which are taking place inside a cell or a living organism can only be of two types. या तो कुछ छोटा लेके जोड़ के बड़ा बनाओ, या तो कुछ बड़ा लेके उसको तोड़ के छोटा बनाओ. तो छोटी छोटी चीज़ों से अगर कुछ बड़ा बनाते हैं एनाबॉलिज्म, बड़ी चीज़ से अगर कुछ छोटा बनाते हैं कैटाबॉलिज्म, जोड़ने को बोलते हैं एनाबॉलिज्म, तोड़ने को बोलते हैं कैटाबॉलिज्म, जोड़ने तोड़ने को बोलते हैं मेटाबॉलिज्म. So I hope what is metabolism is now clear to you. So with this background, we can come to this. So if this is a cell which I have shown you here, or you can see right here next to me, if this is a cell, the material with which it is made is living. Now what that means is that this material, if at one point is going to have some sort of damage, it can repair itself. If this material wants, it can gather resources and make a copy of itself. Inside this material, there are many reactions that are going to be happening. Which kind of reactions? Metabolic reactions, जोड़ने तोड़ने वाले reactions, anabolism and catabolism type of reactions. So they can be happening inside this. So this living material with which the cell is made is going to be called as protoplasm. So it can be called protoplasm or protoplast. So what is protoplasm? The living material with which the cell is made is called protoplasm. As you can see here in black, this is the boundary of this living material, and this boundary is also considered to be alive or living. You call that as protoplasmic membrane. So very clear, स्वाभाविक सा नाम है. If this is protoplasm, the boundary for the protoplasm will be called protoplasmic membrane. You mostly know it as its short form, which is plasma membrane. Some books or some MCQs or questions may also refer to it as cell membrane. So you have protoplasmic membrane, plasma membrane and cell membrane. The boundary of the living material of the cell. This is also living. So whatever you see in the picture right now is living. Now, if this is an animal cell and if someone was to prick it with a pin or was to poke it with a pin, it will usually be motile, will be capable of movement and may move away. But if this is a plant cell and if somebody is trying to do, harm it, it will not be able to move away. So it will have to stay there and bear the torture. So how will the plant cell do that? The one which is not capable of any kind of movement. The plant cell will protect itself not by moving, but by covering itself with something called as the cell wall. So what you see here in brown now is called as the cell wall. Now this cell wall, which you can see, is going to be very rigid, and this cell wall is not living. Of course it is not living, because if it is living और अब इसको कोई torture कर रहा है, तो फिर वो cell wall के बचाने के लिए और कुछ बाहर बनाना पड़ेगा. फिर अगर वो भी living होगा तो उसको बचाने के लिए बाहर और अरे मतलब ऐसा. Did you understand that? So the thing that you want to make which can protect the living material inside is not living. So the cell wall is basically dead, and it is completely made up of components which are extremely rigid and will protect the cell. Usually in a plant cell or a higher plant cell, it is going to be cellulose. We will discuss this in more detail later on. Right now, it is sufficient to know that it is made up of cellulose. So whatever you see within this black boundary is living and this brown thing is dead. Please remember, the black boundary is called cell membrane and the brown line is called as cell wall. Cell wall is not living, cell membrane is living. Inside the cell membrane is all the living material of this cell. So the black line and everything inside is called protoplasm. The black line we've already given a name, the boundary has been given a name, that is protoplasmic membrane or plasma membrane or cell membrane. Within that, now whatever you see, so now we no longer consider the plasma membrane. Whatever is within the plasma membrane can be called as the cytoplasm. Now the cytoplasm is the place where all the metabolic reactions are going to happen. Everything that the cell is trying to do, make energy, break things, make things, all this metabolic activity is carried out by the cytoplasm. So inside the cell, we can say that cytoplasm is the executive part. The English word execute means to carry out, to perform work. So executive basically means the one which does work, executes the work. So whatever this cell has to do, whatever working the cell has to do will be done by the cytoplasm. As you have learnt in the lower standards, right in the middle of the cell, you have this structure which is called as the nucleus. So just like how we have the brain which controls all the parts of the body, the brain of the cell can be considered as the central thing that you see here, which is called as the nucleus. So I can say nucleus is the controlling center of the cell and everything surrounding the nucleus is the executive part, which is called as the cytoplasm. So I hope that this thing is now clear to everybody, that there is a protoplasm which is the living material. The living material has a living boundary called as the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Inside that it is called as the cytoplasm, and within the cytoplasm you have the controlling center called as the nucleus. Of course, the contents of the nucleus can now be called as nucleoplasm. So cell के अंदर का protoplasm will be called cytoplasm and nucleus के अंदर का protoplasm will be called as nucleoplasm. The protoplasmic membrane, cytoplasm, nucleoplasm, all these things are considered living and together they can be called as protoplasm. What is outside, which is in the case of a plant cell, to protect the plant cell, is going to be called as the cell wall. Cell wall is usually made up of tough material which is difficult to break, as in cellulose. More details to come in subsequent lectures. Right now just remember that it is there in a plant cell and made up of cellulose. Okay, one more thing that if you've understood all of this, one more thing that you can understand now is that in the case of plants, the cell will always be bigger, slightly bigger as compared to an animal cell, because it is going to have this cell wall, and even the protoplasm is slightly more in the case of a plant cell. So plant cells are usually bigger as compared to animal cells. However, the shape of the plant cell is fixed. Plant cells will not easily change their shape. And again, if you've been understanding everything, the reason for that is the cell wall. So a cell wall is dead, it is not flexible, it is not living, it is not dynamic, it is not ever changing. The cell wall, which is outside the living material of the plant cell, that cell wall is dead. So that will never change its shape at all. No matter अंदर का living material, protoplasm, कितना भी अपने आप का shape बदले, the outside part, the cell wall, is not going to change its shape. So if an animal cell, which is going to have protoplasm, moves, the shape may change. Even the living material of a plant cell may move and the shape will change. But the outside part, cell wall, will not move, it is rigid. And that is why they say that the plant cells have a fixed shape as compared to an animal cell which do not have a fixed shape. So are these things clear to you now? Pretty straightforward, easy to understand. So we saw that cells are divided into two parts. All cells will have protoplasm. Some cells, like plant cells, not animal cells, will also have a cell wall. The protoplasm, the living material with which the cell is made, can be classified into three groups. You will have the nucleus, which is the controlling center. You will have the cytoplasm, which is the executive center, which will perform all the work of the cell, where all the metabolic activities will take place. And lastly, you will have the plasma membrane, which is the boundary which is controlling this living material. All these three things, the plasma membrane, the cytoplasm and the nucleus, are considered living and are under the category of protoplasm. The cell wall, seen in the case of a plant cell, because of which the plant cell is rigid, does not change its shape, is going to be dead and mostly made up of rigid materials like cellulose. The nucleus contains chromosomes with genetic material. Now, this statement will become very clear by the end of today's lecture. So right now, just remember, the nucleus contains chromosomes with genetic material. The cytoplasm is going to have two components. It will have non-living components like the water with which the protoplasm or the cytoplasm is made, and it is also going to have living components or the organelles which will actually do all the chemical reactions, all the metabolic reactions, all the jodne wale and todne wale reactions, anabolic and catabolic reactions. So this chart briefly explains to you that the cell has living material called protoplasm, and a few cells will have cell wall. The protoplasm will have the nucleus, the cytoplasm and the plasma membrane, also called protoplasmic membrane or cell membrane. Alright, so we are going to do each of these three things for the cell. I am first going to teach you nucleus, then I will teach you about cytoplasm and the various cell organelles, and then I will move on to the plasma membrane. So this is the sequence that we are going to follow. Hopefully today we shall be finishing off the nucleus. Right. Now, before we start talking about the nucleus, there are a few things we need to discuss. The first one being, everybody knows from their school level knowledge that this is a male gamete, also called as the sperm. This is the female gamete, also called as the ovum. When the sperm and ovum combine together, they form something called as the zygote. And you know that the zygote then forms the embryo forms the fetus, and the fetus is then going to be born as the child. So when you were born, the contribution from your father was a single cell called as the male gamete or the sperm, and the contribution from your mother was a single female gamete or an ovum. So I think this basic biology everybody knows. I just wanted us to be on the same page and to be absolutely clear that this happens in all sexually reproducing organisms. So to make you the child, the father contributed just one single cell called as the male gamete or sperm, and the mother contributed just one single cell called as the female gamete or ovum. So all the millions of cells with which you were made started with a single cell called as a zygote, which came from the male gamete of your father and the female gamete of your mother. So I hope this everybody was aware of. If not, I hope this is now clear to you. Okay, so this was the first thing I wanted to discuss before we talk about the nucleus. The second thing I want to discuss is this. So now I am going to narrate two fictitious anecdotes, two stories, mostly a fragment of my imagination. But the thing is that I will be narrating them in Hindi. So the whole story that I'm going to tell you, two little stories that I'm going to share now, they're going to be in Hindi. At the end of that, I am going to say a few sentences in Hindi. In fact, I'm going to say 4 sentences to be precise. And then I am going to ask you to convert them to English. So I think majority of you would be decent when it comes to Hindi. All of you must have taken Hindi as a subject in school. So let's see how good your Hindi is and how well you can convert it at the end of these two stories. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. So पहली कहानी शुरू होती है मेरे पिताजी के साथ. अब मेरे पिताजी भी डॉक्टर हैं उनके पास साउथ मुंबई में बिल्डिंग में एक 8th फ्लोर पे 2 बेडरूम हॉल किचन का फ्लैट है। उनके पास एक होंडा सिटी गाड़ी है। उनके बैंक में, उनके अकाउंट में तकरीबन 12-15 लाख रुपए हैं और उसी बैंक के लॉकर में बहुत सारी ज्वेलरी है जो मेरी मदर की है। अब मेरे पिताजी को ये डर है कि भगवान ना करे अगर उनको कुछ हो गया तो उनका ये बेटा बहुत ही बुरी तरह से ये सारी चीज़ें हड़प लेगा। जो घर है उसके नाम पे कर लेगा, जो गाड़ी है वो भी उसके नाम पे कर लेगा, जो बैंक के अंदर का सारा पैसा है वो अपने अकाउंट में ट्रांसफ़र कर लेगा, लॉकर में से सारे हीरे जवाहरात ज्वेलरी भी ले लेगा। तो बेचारी उनकी बीवी या मेरी बुढ़ी माँ को कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा और मैं उसको रास्ते पे फेंक दूंगा। ऐसा मेरे पिताजी का विचार है। सो इस डर में कि कहीं ये ना हो जाए और ताकि वो अपनी बीवी को कुछ सिक्योरिटी दे के जाएं, मेरे पिताजी ने अगले दिन एक वकील को बुलाया और मेरे पिताजी ने कहा कि हम एक वसीयत लिखेंगे। तो वकील, आप प्लीज़ ये वसीयत लिखना शुरू करें। सो उन्होंने वकील से कहा होगा कि मैं डॉक्टर किरण हरसोरा अपने पूरे होशो हवास में ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे पास ये बिल्डिंग में इस फ्लोर पे ये नंबर का एक फ़्लैट है। अगर मैं गुज़र जाऊँ तो ये फ्लैट मेरी बीवी के नाम। मेरे पास ये होंडा सिटी गाड़ी है, ये गाड़ी का नंबर MH01TA157 है। अगर मैं गुज़र जाऊँ तो ये गाड़ी मेरे बेटे के नाम। मेरे पास बैंक ऑफ इंडिया चनी रोड ब्रांच में ये अकाउंट नंबर में जितने भी रुपए होंगे वो मेरी बीवी के नाम। मेरे पास बैंक ऑफ इंडिया चनी रोड ब्रांच में 2478 नंबर का ये लॉकर है, उस लॉकर के अंदर जो कुछ भी होगा वो भी मेरी बीवी के नाम। सो उन्होंने ये वकील से कहा होगा कि आप इस प्रकार से ये वसीयत बनाएं और फिर ये वकील ने 1 या 2 या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 3 पेपर लेके ये ऐसी एक वसीयत मेरे पापा के लिए या मेरे पिताजी के लिए बनाई होगी। सो ऐसी एक वसीयत उन्होंने बना दी। सो ये कहानी थी मेरे पिताजी की और उन्होंने अपनी बीवी की सुरक्षा के लिए और ताकि उनके बच्चों को कुछ तकलीफ ना हो, अपने जीते जी एक वसीयत बनाई। अब बात करते हैं एक दूसरे आदमी के बारे में। सो ये है दूसरी कहानी। सो इनको भी शायद आप जानते ही होंगे। इनका नाम है धीरू भाई अंबानी और जैसा कि आप जानते हैं इनके 2 बेटे हैं। एक है बड़े बेटे मुकेश और दूसरे हैं छोटे बेटे अनिल। सो जैसे मेरे पिताजी को ये चिंता थी कि अगर उनको कुछ हो गया तो उसके बेटे को या उसकी बीवी को कुछ भी नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए, कुछ भी बुरा उनके साथ नहीं होना चाहिए। ये सेम सोच धीरू भाई की भी थी कि अगर मुझे कुछ हो गया तो मेरे 2 बेटे एक दूसरे में झगड़ने नहीं चाहिए और मेरी बीवी कोकिलाबेन को भी कुछ बुरा नहीं होना चाहिए। धीरू भाई ने भी अपने लॉयर को बुलाया और कहा कि हमें भी एक वसीयत या विल बनानी है। सो जैसे ही उनके लॉयर आए, लॉयर उनके सामने बैठे हैं और अब धीरू भाई उनको बता रहे हैं कि मैं धीरू भाई अंबानी अपने पूरे होशो हवास में ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमारी जो जामनगर की फैक्ट्री है वो मेरे बड़े बेटे मुकेश के नाम। फिर धीरू भाई ने कहा चलो पॉइंट नंबर 2, हमारी जो आसाम की पेट्रोल रिफाइनरी है। अब जैसे ही उन्होंने ये शुरू किया कि हमारी जो आसाम की पेट्रोल की रिफाइनरी है, ये वकील ने कहा कि एक मिनट, आपने कहा कि ये जो जामनगर की फैक्ट्री है ये मुकेश के नाम, बट अगर आपको कुछ हो गया तो उसके बाद अनिल मुकेश को कोर्ट में लेके जा सकता है ये कहने के लिए कि पापा ने अपनी वसीयत में ये लिखा है कि फैक्ट्री तुम्हारे नाम। बट जिस जमीन पे ये फैक्ट्री खड़ी है वो तो मेरे पिताजी की भी है, तो अब वो जमीन आधी मेरी और आधी तुम्हारी, आधी मेरी अनिल की और आधी तुम्हारी मुकेश की। सो मेरी आधी जमीन पे से अपनी फैक्ट्री हटाओ। क्या आपको समझा कि आगे क्या लीगल इश्यू हो सकता है? सो ये किसने कहा, या ये किसकी विचार थी? लॉयर की, कि ऐसा शायद अनिल आगे फ्यूचर में कर सकता है। तो धीरू भाई ने कहा चलो ठीक है बाबा, लिख दो कि ये जो जमीन है वो भी किसके नाम? मुकेश के नाम। फिर धीरू भाई ने कहा कि चलो आगे बढ़े आसाम की तरफ, आसाम की रिफाइनरी की तरफ। तो वकील ने कहा एक मिनट, पर ये जो आपकी यहाँ की फैक्ट्री है उसमें ये 2-3 करोड़ की ड्रिलिंग मशीन है, अब वो किसके नाम? क्योंकि अगर शायद आपको कुछ हो गया तो अनिल वापस से कोर्ट में केस कर सकता है कि पप्पा ने ज़मीन की बात तो कर ली, पप्पा ने जो फैक्ट्री है उसकी बात भी कर ली, बट ये दोनों की बात नहीं की है, तो ये आधा मुझे मिलना चाहिए, आधा तुमको मिलना चाहिए, तो एक तुम्हारा एक मेरा। तो अब धीरू भाई ने कहा चलो बाबा लिख दो कि ये दो भी मुकेश के नाम। आगे बढ़े, अब आसाम की बात करें, आसाम की रिफाइनरी की। तो अब वकील जी ने वापस कहा पर एक मिनट, ये जो आपकी यहाँ की जामनगर की फैक्ट्री है उसमें बहुत सारे कंप्यूटर्स होंगे, बहुत सारे माउस होंगे, बहुत सारे कीबोर्ड होंगे। सो अगर यहाँ पे 50 कंप्यूटर, 50 माउस, 50 कीबोर्ड है तो ये सब किसके नाम? सो अब धीरू भाई एकदम ही चिढ़ गए कि ये कैसी फालतू बातें हैं, ऑलराइट ऐसा आप क्यों कह रहे हैं? सो अब वकील ने कहा कि इवन दो आपको लग रहा है कि आपका छोटा बेटा अनिल एक 200 रुपए के कंप्यूटर माउस के लिए थोड़ी झगड़ेगा, ये आपकी सोच है अभी, बट अगर आप गुजर गए और अगर आपके बच्चों में कुछ अनबन हो गई तो अनिल वो 200 रुपए के माउस के लिए भी झगड़ेगा। अब इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि वो 200 रुपए का माउस है, बट अगर वो 200 रुपए के माउस के लिए झगड़ेगा तो मुकेश को कोर्ट में आना पड़ेगा, ये जो फैक्ट्री है वो लिटिगेशन में जाएगी और ये पूरी फैक्ट्री बंद करनी पड़ेगी। सो अगर ये फैक्ट्री रोज 2-3 करोड़ का माल बना रही थी तो अब वो माल नहीं बनेगा। क्यों? क्योंकि 200 रुपए के माउस के लिए कोर्ट में झगड़ रहे थे। सो अगर अब ये फैक्ट्री में माल नहीं बनेगा और ये फैक्ट्री अगर 15 दिन के लिए भी बंद है तो 30 करोड़ का नुकसान होगा। क्यों? क्योंकि आपने बराबर बताया नहीं कि माउस किसके नाम, इसके लिए अनिल मुकेश के साथ झगड़ा कर रहा है कोर्ट में। तो अब ये हर एक माउस का जो सीरियल नंबर है वो लिखना पड़ेगा कि ये माउस का ये सीरियल नंबर है, ये मुकेश के नाम, ये दूसरा माउस उसका सीरियल नंबर ये है, ये भी मुकेश के नाम। सो अब धीरू भाई को समझ में आया कि ये बहुत ही पेचीदा मामला है और उन्होंने वकील से कहा कि चलो ठीक है तुम जाओ ये सब देखो और हम लोग मिलते हैं अगले हफ्ते जब तुम्हारे पास ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन होगा। सो अगले हफ्ते वकील वापस आए और धीरू भाई ने कहा कि चलो पॉइंट नंबर 2, मेरी आसाम की रिफाइनरी अनिल के नाम। और जैसे ही वो पॉइंट नंबर 3 बोलने गए, आई होप सबको समझा कि वकील ने क्या बोला होगा कि आसाम की रिफाइनरी जहां है वो जमीन किसके नाम, उसके अंदर जो मशीन है वो किसके नाम। सो ऐसे धीरू भाई को उनको वापस भेजना पड़ा कि ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन आप लेके आओ। सो अब जैसा कि आप सब अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं, हर बार जब ये जा रहे थे और सब इंफॉर्मेशन लेके आ रहे थे तो ऑफकोर्स ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन एकदम बराबर से सीरियल नंबर के साथ किस चीज़ की बात हो रही है ये सब कुछ अच्छे से लिखना पड़ा होगा, जो तकरीबन 15-20 पेज में हुआ होगा। सो अब तक सिर्फ 2 ही फैक्ट्री की बातें हुई। धीरू भाई जी की जितनी जायदाद थी उसमें से सिर्फ 2 फैक्ट्री की बातें हुई और ये 2 फैक्ट्री की बातें करते करते ही पूरा यहाँ पर 30 या 40 पेज का वसीयत बन चुका है। सो अब जब धीरू भाई की पूरी जायदाद की बात हुई होगी तो ये अभी एकदम स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि बहुत सारे पन्ने लगे होंगे, क्योंकि धीरू भाई के पास सिर्फ 2 फैक्ट्रियां नहीं थी, पूरी इंडिया में बहुत सारी फैक्ट्रियां हैं। एट द सेम टाइम रिलायंस ग्रुप के पास बहुत सारी बिल्डिंग्स है, बहुत सारे रिटेल आउटलेट्स हैं। सो अगर ये हर एक चीज़ के बारे में लिखेंगे तो क्योंकि उनकी जायदाद इतनी ज़्यादा है, बहुत सारे पेजेस लगे होंगे उनकी वसीयत बनाने के लिए। इनफैक्ट 20-30,000 पेजेस लग गए होंगे सिर्फ ये लिखते 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 कि उनके पास क्या क्या है जो उनके बच्चों को जाना चाहिए। अब गौर करें, मैंने कहा कि 20-30,000 पेजेस। अब जिन लोगों को अंदाजा नहीं है कि ये पेजेस कितने होते हैं, लेट मी शो यू ए फेमस पिक्चर। क्या आप में से किसी को भी मालूम है कि ये लड़की कौन है? इनफैक्ट ये जो लड़की अभी आपको यहाँ पर दिख रही है वो तो अभी काफ़ी बुढ़ी हो गई होगी, जैसे कि आपको फ़ोटो से ही दिख रहा है कि ये काफ़ी पुराने ज़माने का फ़ोटो है। ये 1960s का फ़ोटो है। सो क्या आप में से किसी को भी मालूम है कि ये कौन है और उसके बाजू में ये क्या है? ये मार्गरेट हैमिल्टन है और ये नासा की कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट थी। शी वॉज द हेड ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर डिपार्टमेंट, जिन्होंने पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर लिखा था अपोलो मून लैंडिंग का। और इनके बाजू में ये जो पूरी पेपर की ढेर है, ये तकरीबन 11,000 पन्ने हैं, 11,000 पेजेस। एंड ये 11,000 पेजेस पे वो सॉफ्टवेयर का कोड लिखा है कि मून के ऊपर जो अपोलो 11 है वो कैसे लैंड होगा। इनफैक्ट यही सॉफ्टवेयर की वजह से अपोलो मून पे लैंड हुआ और सबसे पहले ह्यूमन एस्ट्रोनॉट्स मून पे लैंड हुए। सो ये इंटरेस्टिंग फोटो था जो मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता था, बट ज़्यादातर इसलिए दिखाना चाहता था क्योंकि आप देख सके कि 11,000 पन्ने कितने होते हैं। धीरू भाई की जायदाद 30,000 पेजेस हैं, 30,000। सो यहाँ पे जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं 11,000 पन्ने इतने हैं, तो 30,000 कितने होंगे वो अभी आप सोचो। अब ये 30,000 पेजेस की पूरी वसीयत लेके धीरू भाई जी के लॉयर पहुंचे होंगे उनके पास। 3-4 आदमी ये सब लेके आए होंगे और ये पूरे पेपर का ढेर वो वहां पर लेके आए होंगे। अब ऑफ कोर्स अगर ये पूरे 30,000 पेजेस में से एक भी पेज गायब होता है और वो पेज पे लिखा है कि जामनगर की जमीन किसके नाम पे है, तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि मुकेश और अनिल के बीच में क्या होगा। विच मीन्स कि ये जो उनकी पूरी वसीयत है जिसमें 30,000 पेजेस है, ये ईच एंड एवरी पेज बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर एक भी पेज गायब हो गया तो आगे बहुत तकलीफ हो सकती है। सो मैं आपको ये फोटो अभी इसलिए बता रहा हूं कि 11,000 पन्ने कितने होते हैं, तो आप खाली सोचो कि 30,000 पन्ने कितने होंगे। और मैंने आपको ये एक्सप्लेन किया कि हर एक पन्ना बेहद 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 इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो कोई भी पन्ना गुम नहीं जाना चाहिए, कैन नॉट बी लॉस्ट। सो अब क्या करेंगे इन 30,000 पेजेस का? ऑफ कोर्स उनका बाइंडिंग करेंगे, बुक बनाएंगे, ताकि कोई भी पेज लूज ना रहे, गुम ना जाए। सो ये 30,000 पेजेस को लिटरली बाइंड करके बुक बनाई होगी और ये पूरे 30,000 पेजेस को फिट करने के लिए तकरीबन 23 ऐसी बुक्स बनाई होगी। सो धीरू भाई की जो पूरी जायदाद थी वो 23 बुक्स में 30,000 पेजेस के रूप में डालनी पड़ी होगी। अब जब लॉयर ये धीरू भाई के घर पे लेके आए होंगे तो ऑफ कोर्स धीरू भाई ये खाली अपने कमरे के कोने में ऐसे स्टैक नहीं कर सकते हैं। सो धीरू भाई ने पूरा एक कबर्ड बनाया होगा जिसके अंदर उन्होंने ये सारे वॉल्यूम्स या ये सारी बुक्स रखी होंगी, 23 बुक्स, जिनके अंदर उनकी पूरी जायदाद की सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पेज वाइज 30,000 पेजेस में लिखी गई है। सो इसी के साथ मेरी दोनों स्टोरीज समाप्त हुई। आपके मन में बहुत सारे सवाल चल रहे होंगे कि ये पूरा स्टोरी अभी सर ने क्यों किया। आज के लेक्चर के अंत तक उसका जवाब आपको मिल जाएगा, बट आई होप अब तक स्टोरी आपको समझ में आई। सो अब वो 4 सेंटेंसेस जो आप कन्वर्ट करने वाले हैं फ्रॉम हिंदी टू इंग्लिश। सबसे पहला, मेरे पिताजी के पास बहुत सारी जायदाद है। इन योर माइंड प्लीज कन्वर्ट दिस टू इंग्लिश। मेरे पिताजी के पास बहुत सारी जायदाद हैं। आई थिंक आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने किया होगा, माई फादर हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, माई फादर हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी और हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ बिलोंगिंग्स। दूसरा, मैं उस जायदाद का वारिस हूं, मैं उस जायदाद का वारिस हूं। एनीबडी? इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन, आई एम द हेयर टू दैट प्रॉपर्टी। हेयर, HEIR, हेयर HAIR मतलब बाल, हेयर HARE मतलब खरगोश, एंड हेयर HEIR मतलब वारिस। सो पहला सेंटेंस था मेरे पिताजी के पास बहुत सारी जायदाद है, दूसरा सेंटेंस था मैं उस जायदाद का वारिस हूं, तीसरा सेंटेंस मुझे ये जायदाद विरासत में मिलेगी, मुझे ये जायदाद विरासत में मिलेगी। आई थिंक एवरीबडी इज गोइंग टू फाइंड दिस डिफिकल्ट। मुझे ये जायदाद विरासत में मिलेगी। एनीबडी? आई शैल रिसीव दिस प्रॉपर्टी एज माई इनहेरिटेंस। क्लियर? आई शैल रिसीव दिस प्रॉपर्टी एज माई इनहेरिटेंस। एंड लास्ट हिंदी स्टेटमेंट, मेरे पिताजी ने इसलिए वसीयत बनाई। आई थिंक दिस शुड बी क्लियर बिकॉज आपने स्क्रीन पे भी देखा होगा, माई फादर प्रिपेयर्ड अ विल, माई फादर प्रिपेयर्ड अ विल। So don't worry, from now on the lecture is going to continue in English. So let's see what were those 4 sentences, and I'm repeating them for you now. So you're going to have number 1, that my father has a lot of property. Number 2, I am the heir to that property. Number 3, I shall receive that property as my inheritance. And lastly, you are going to have my father prepared a will. Now here I just want you to know what is the meaning of the word hereditary. That which gets passed on from generation to generation is called hereditary. So suppose if I today accumulate wealth and I have a flat or I have a apartment in Mumbai, and if this apartment I give to my son has received it as his inheritance, and then when my son is going to pass it on to his son, it will be called hereditary property. It has been passed on from one generation to another generation to another generation. So I hope that now all these English words are very clear to you, that what is heir, what is heredity, what is hereditary property, what is inheritance. Are we clear with this? So now have you clearly understood this? Because this thing which I just explained to you right now is the entire funda behind genetics. So if you understood what I just said, a lot of things will become clear, and now you will not forget it in the future. So what do I mean by that? All right, remember this diagram? Now, we human beings pass on our features to our children. So you already know this, that the child looks like the father or looks like the mother. So I have characters, a father, a parent has characters which I have received from my father and my mother. So I have characters received from my father and my mother, and I will give these characters to my child. So now can you tell me what kind of characters are these? Hereditary characters. These are hereditary characters. I got from my father and mother and I pass them on to my child. So consider this as my sperm. So let's say that this is me, the father, who is producing the male gamete. Now I have characters which I want to give to my child. I have characters which I wish to give to my child. Now, if I want to give characters to my child, how many characters do I want to give? Now you would be shocked to know that human beings have about 30,000 characters which we can pass on to our children. Majority of you now are going to be thinking that ये सर क्या बोल रहे हैं, हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल, 30,000 कैरेक्टर्स किसको बोलते हैं, इतना सारा कैरेक्टर्स कैसे हो गया. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, my hair, as you can see, is currently black and white. It's not been like this since forever. So at some point in time, I must have had black hair. So I would want to give my child the information that, dear child, when you are born, you should have black hair, just like your father had when he was a young person. Then I want to give my child the information that, okay, on 1 square inch of your scalp, you should have 300 hair. Some other person might want to say कि you should have 250. I am going to tell my child कि मेरे पापा के पास 300 per square inch था, मेरे पास भी 300 per square inch है, तेरे पास भी 300 per square inch होगा. So that is my hereditary character which I will give to my child. I will also tell my child that the speed with which our hair grows is about 3 millimeters per day. So your hair will also grow 3 millimeters per day. I will also tell my child, or I will also want to pass on to my child, कि this is the area on which hair should be present. मतलब ये लाइन के नीचे hair नहीं चाहिए, ये लाइन के ऊपर hair चाहिए. So I will also tell him this is the area where you will have hair. I will also tell my child that from the age of around 18 or 21, you will have your first white hair, and your hair will now slowly start turning white. I will also tell him कि ये white hair कितनी उम्र पे फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ेगा. मतलब 18 पे एक बाल आया, 20 पे दूसरा आएगा, 25 तक 25-30 बाल होंगे, 35 तक तो ये हालत हो जाएगा. So I will also give that character to him. Not only that, I will also tell him कि तुम्हारे बाल जब झड़ना चालू होंगे तो पहले इधर से थोड़ा जाएगा, फिर इधर से थोड़ा जाएगा, फिर ये पूरा जाएगा, फिर तुम थोड़ा इधर का बाल इधर लेगा, फिर तुम थोड़ा इधर का बाल इधर लेगा. So that balding pattern also is a character which I will give him. कितने बाल, कलर ऑफ द बाल, कैसे बाल उगेंगे, किस एरिया में बाल होंगे, कब बाल झड़ना शुरू करेंगे, कब बाल वाइट होना शुरू होंगे, बॉल्डनेस का पैटर्न क्या होगा. All of this were characters related to hair, and that also hair only in this area. We have not even come to eyebrows and eyelashes and other parts of the body. We can also have shape of the eyebrow, number of hair in the eyebrow, density of the eyebrow, length of the hair of the eyebrow, the speed with which it is going to grow. All these are characters. Color of your eyes, the shape of your face, your facial bones, your teeth structure, your dental structure. So hopefully now it should not be difficult for you to imagine that there are 30,000 characters which I want to give to my child. Is that clear? Now comes the most important thing. My only contribution to making my child is a single cell called as a sperm. So this is the basics of biology that everybody knew, that to make a child, the father gives a sperm and the mother gives a ovum, which are single cells. And somehow my single cell needs to have an entire collection of all my 30,000 characters. मेरी जायदाद की पूरी वसीयत ये एक स्पर्म में होनी चाहिए. अब समझा कि हमने स्टोरी क्यों किया. मेरी जायदाद की पूरी वसीयत ये एक स्पर्म के अंदर होना चाहिए. All my hereditary characters written down on pages should be bound together into books and should be into this sperm. So I am going to have 30,000 pages. हर एक पेज में एक कैरेक्टर के बारे में लिखा है. ये 30,000 पेजेस से 23 बुक्स बनाई जाएगी और ये जो बुक्स हैं वो मेरे स्पर्म के अंदर होंगी जो मैं मेरे बच्चे को पास ऑन करूंगा. Similarly, I am not the only one making my child. My wife is also going to contribute a female gamete and she would also want to tell the same thing to my child कि मम्मा के बाल ब्राउन कलर के तो तुम्हारे बाल भी ब्राउन कलर के होने चाहिए. मम्मा के बाल का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिर पे ये है तो तुम्हारा भी ये होना चाहिए. मम्मा के बाल तो झड़ते ही नहीं है तो तुम्हारे बाल झड़ने ही नहीं चाहिए. So all these 30,000 characters which I want to give to my child, my wife also wants to give. So she also has 30,000 pages. Those 30,000 pages, she has also made 23 books. So my child is going to get 23 books from me and 23 books from my mother, 23 books from my wife, and in all these 46 books will contain all the information that my child needs. Now, why do I have 30,000 pages? Because I have so many characters. So those hereditary characters will be written onto 30,000 pages, which will be made into 23 books. Now these books are extremely important because even if one page of one book goes missing, then my child will have an issue. For example, if I am saying on book 3, page 7, color of the eye. So I've written on book 3, page 7 that beta, my eyes are brown, your eyes should also be brown. So this is on book 3, page 7. And somehow that page gets torn off. Now, if this book is being read by my child, he is seeing that daddy has not given me any hereditary character for color of the eye. But thankfully, he can read Mamma's book 3, page 7, where Mamma may have given the color of the eye. So in that case, my wife would have written on book 3, page 7 that, dear child of ours, your eye color should be brown. So now my boy has that. But what if my book 3, page 7 is missing? And what if my wife's also book 3, page 7 is missing? So now my child doesn't know what should be the color of the eyes. And this can be a huge problem. So just like in Dhirubhai's case, if a single page of his wasiyat or will is missing, there will be a huge problem. From my 23 books and 30,000 pages, if one page is also missing, it will be a big problem. So all these books will have to be put inside into a proper cupboard, just like how Dhirubhai was keeping his will. That cupboard is called as the nucleus. Those books are called as chromosomes. And those pages are made up of DNA. So वो कबर्ड को बोलते हैं न्यूक्लियस, उसके अंदर की जो बुक्स हैं उसको बोलते हैं क्रोमोसोम्स, और वो बुक्स जिन पेजेस से बनी हुई है उसको बोलते हैं डीएनए. I will give 23 books, my wife will give 23 books, I will give 23 chromosomes, my wife will give 23 chromosomes. Overall, my child is going to have 46 chromosomes. And what are these 46 books or chromosomes made up of? Pages called as DNA. Have you now clearly understood this? Are you sure? All right. So that brings us to cupboard के अंदर book के अंदर पन्ने. So you are going to have cupboard which will have book which will have pages. Now what about these pages? On these pages things will be written. किसके बारे में क्या लिखा है वो important है. So on a given page, what you are going to write is fixed. About what you are going to write is fixed. What you will exactly write is not fixed. For example, book 3, page 7, we are going to write about color of eye. So on my book 3, page 7, I will write about color of eye. On my wife's book 3, page 7, she will also write about color of eye. But what is the difference here? I can write in my book, beta, my color of the eye is brown, yours will also be brown. My wife can write, beta, my color of eye is blue, your color of eye should also be blue. So both of us, book 3, page 7, have written what? Color of the eye. Same thing. But exactly what was written was not same. It was depending on what we had from our respective parents. So I hope you understand कि कबर्ड के अंदर बुक्स है, बुक्स के ऊपर पेजेस है, पेजेस के ऊपर कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में लिखा होगा, और जो लिखा है इज कॉल्ड जीन्स. जो लिखा है इज कॉल्ड जीन्स. सो किसके बारे में लिखा है इज कॉल्ड जीन्स. सो अबाउट व्हाट एंड एग्जैक्टली व्हाट. सो बुक 3, पेज 7, व्हाट आर यू राइटिंग अबाउट? कलर. बट व्हाट डिड यू एग्जैक्टली राइट? ब्राउन और ब्लू. सो यू हैव कबर्ड के अंदर बुक, बुक के अंदर पेजेस, पेजेस के ऊपर इंफॉर्मेशन. पर्टिकुलर पेज के ऊपर इंफॉर्मेशन किसके बारे में और एग्जैक्टली क्या लिखा है वो जरूरी है. So now it should be clear to you that the cupboard is the nucleus, the books are going to be the chromosome, the pages are going to be made up of DNA. On the pages, what you write about is called as the gene, and what exactly is written is called as allele. So dear students, have you understood that all cells have nucleus? Nuclei contain chromosomes. Those chromosomes are made up of DNA. On DNA, information is written. That information which is written is called as genes, and exactly what is written is going to be called as an allele. So what is written may be color of the eye. So color of the eye is the gene. The brown and the blue are going to be the alleles. Are we clear? If you've understood all of this, then in the future genetics will become extremely easy. So this was the main thing that you needed to understand. If you understand this whole concept of nucleus, chromosome, DNA, genes, alleles, if you understand this, then आगे चल के everything about genetics becomes much easier. In fact, now you will understand why the story that I told you was important. If I am like Dhiru Bhai with 30,000 genes, lots of information which I want to pass on, I will need a lot of DNA pages जिसके ऊपर I will write a lot of information, genes, and all those will have to be made into books. If I have more than one book, then I just cannot keep it anywhere here and there, because if I have 5-6 books, they might get scattered, pages might get torn off. So I need a nucleus. So this was Dhiru Bhai's story. Now what about my father? My father had no property only as compared to Dhiru Bhai. So basically, if my father made a will, it was only going to be 4-5 pages. अब 4-5 pages का folder बना देगा, book थोड़ी बनाएगा. And ये folder के लिए, do you think my dad has a full cupboard in the house where he is keeping the single folder? No. It must be kept on his side table or in the drawer next to his bed. He has not made a full cupboard for this. So why were those two stories important? So that you understand, if there is a lot of hereditary information which needs to be passed on, you will need a lot of DNA, which will make lots of chromosomes, and to keep all those chromosomes together so that it does not scatter, because it is very important information, you will need a nucleus. But if you don't have too much information, then you will need less DNA, less pages. Less pages means less books, or in fact not even books, there will just be one book, and one book does not deserve a full cupboard. Did all of you understand this? Okay. So that brings me to what are the characters of cells or characteristics of cell. If you are paying attention so far, this is a culmination of everything we've done in the first 3 lectures, including what we've done today. Cell is a structural and functional unit of all living organisms. It is made up of living material which is called protoplasm, and it is going to be surrounded by a protoplasmic membrane or plasma membrane. May or may not have a cell wall. Inside the protoplasmic membrane, it is divided into a controlling center which is called as the nucleus and an executive center called as the cytoplasm. Now I hope nucleus is clear to you. So what do you need to know about the nucleus? The nucleus contains the genetic material in the form of DNA and RNA, which is responsible for transmission of hereditary characters. So I hope this long sentence is now clear to you. The nucleus के अंदर there is genetic material which is going to pass on hereditary information, characters from one generation to the next generation, from me to my son. So the nucleus contains genetic material in the form of DNA and RNA, which is responsible for transmission of hereditary characters. So how do my characters reach my child? They reach my child through DNA. DNA which contains genes, and DNA which together forms chromosomes, which are nicely packed up in a cupboard called as the nucleus. So the nucleus is going to be containing genetic material in the form of DNA and RNA that is responsible for transmission of hereditary characters. The cytoplasm, on the other hand, contains the various cell organelles that carry out the various metabolic activities. Is metabolic activity now clear with you? all the reactions जिसमें छोटी छोटी चीज़ों से कुछ बड़ा बनेगा, anabolism बड़ी चीज़ टूट के कुछ छोटा बनेगा, catabolism. So all this anabolism and catabolism, all these activity together form metabolism. And where do they happen? In the cytoplasm. Where in the cytoplasm? In the cell organelles. So cell organelles is the place where all these things are executed in the cytoplasm, and that is going to be the metabolic activities. Finally, cell is capable of division and growth. It can also repair itself. So have you understood these basic things about a cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. It is made up of living material called protoplasm, surrounded by protoplasmic membrane, plasma membrane or cell membrane. Within that there are two parts, a controlling center called as nucleus and an executive center called as cytoplasm. The nucleus contains the genetic material in the form of DNA and RNA that is responsible for transmission of hereditary characters. The cytoplasm is going to comprise of the various cell organelles which carry out metabolic activity. A cell is capable of division as well as growth. If it is damaged, it can also repair itself. So have you understood all of this? Great. So with this, we can finish the last discussion for today's lecture. So here is clearly a picture of a cell. Can everybody now quickly tell me what kind of a cell is it? Is it a plant cell or is it an animal cell? So everybody who said plant cell, you are absolutely right, because you can clearly see that this is the plasma membrane which is inside the cell membrane, and here what you see here, these things, they are the cell wall. So you are right, this is a plant cell. Now here you can also see that this is the nucleus. Everything other than this is going to be the cytoplasm, which contains the various cell organelles. On the other hand, this is a bacterial cell. Notice that the cell is smaller in size, has very few cell organelles. Can you see that? Very few cell organelles. Now the reason why I am showing these two cells to you right now, a plant cell and a bacterial cell, is so that you understand कि I can say ये धीरू भाई है और ये मेरे पापा है. इनके पास बहुत सारी जायदाद है. Can you see that this plant cell has a lot of characters, has a lot of information that it may want to pass on to its offspring. Can you see all of this? All of this. Whereas here you will notice that this cell does not have any cell organelles or any information only. So now what does this tell you? This tells you that since this has more information to pass, it will require more genes. More genes means more DNA. More DNA means more chromosomes. And more chromosomes means that you want to keep them in a cupboard. And what is that cupboard going to be? Nucleus. So here you have a proper nucleus that you can see. On the other hand, here कुछ जायदाद, कुछ characters ही नहीं, कुछ, there are no cell organelles, there are no characters which you would want to pass. So if there are no characters or few characters, you can finish them in fewer genes. So if there is few genes, there is less DNA. If there is less DNA, it can be bound together in one book, and one book के लिए पूरा cupboard नहीं बनाएंगे. So this cell, bacterial cell, will not have a nucleus at all, because it just has one chromosome. This thing here is just one chromosome. Whereas here there are going to be multiple chromosomes, and for those multiple chromosomes, what are you going to require? A big cupboard which is going to be called as the nucleus. Is this very clear to you now? That is why this cell which you see here, this cell has nucleus which is called karyon. So the Latin word karyon means nucleus, and the Latin word eu means true, sacha. Hence this plant cell is called as a eukaryotic cell. Is called as a eukaryotic cell. Here if you were to notice, karyon, nucleus है ही नहीं. So we say that whatever it has is a very primitive single chromosome simply present in the cytoplasm here. So this cell will be called as prokaryotic cell. What will it be called? Prokaryotic cell. And hence cells are of two types, prokaryotic or bacterial cell and cells like these with a proper nucleus, which are going to be called as eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells will include the plant cell as well as animal cell. So I hope this detailed discussion that we did today has drilled into your head that inside a cell you have nucleus. Nucleus contains chromosomes. Chromosomes are going to contain DNA. DNA will contain genes, and genes have various forms which are called alleles. कबर्ड के अंदर है बुक्स, के अंदर है पेजेस, के ऊपर किसके बारे में क्या लिखा है? न्यूक्लियस, chromosomes, DNA, genes, alleles. Is this now very clear to you? And based on this, have you understood what is a prokaryotic cell and what is a eukaryotic cell? Dear students, this concludes today's lecture. I hope you have understood everything, and in the next lecture we are going to start off with all the various organelles including the nucleus. So if this is clear to you, we can build upon this knowledge in the next lecture. Thank you, dear students, and God bless. Work hard, be nice.